Well, thrilled with the ride. We had a rough go in the Grand Prix, and they'd laid some AstroTurf close to the ring, and he was honestly terrified of it. And he was honest in his terror. He only spooked at those corners, but I couldn't do any corners, so I couldn't get into any movement. So, you know, the stuff he did in the middle of the ring, he was 8s, and everything that came out of the corners, he was 3s. And he has an honest reason. He was attacked by a lynx when he was a yearling, I think. And I know this because I met the breeder when I was at the World Cup in Sweden, and she ran up to him and she looked at the scar on his chest, and she started to cry, and she was saying, that's really him, it's really De Niro, because she nursed him back to health. So she explained the whole story of the lynx attack and the teeth marks, and the puncture wounds were like this big. So he has a few things where he's very quirky, and I always forgive him instantly because I know that that's where that's coming from. When he feels safe, like today, with normal ring, normal letters, horse can't try harder. You know, so he's so honest in his reactions. But today he was better than I was because I wasn't sure if there'd be any holdover from yesterday. So I rode the first bit going like, are you okay? And he was like, I'm fine. What's wrong with you? Let's go. So then he started to go, and he got a great score, 72. So I'm thrilled with him.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Talk about the evolution of your partnership with that horse, because you hadn't had...
No, just 3 years now. Yeah, and it was a rush to the Olympics. You know, we were sort of learning on the job and learning each other in the ring, and he wasn't really strong enough to do it. It's interesting now, he's much fitter and he's much stronger. He's much more horse to ride. So he was more difficult then to get a clean test out of, but easier to ride. Now he knows all his stuff, and he is strong and powerful. So if that balance tips at all, he can pull me right out of the saddle. But when I get him balanced correctly, I've never ridden anything like it in my life.
And you had pretty awesome horses in here.
Yes, my Grand Gusto. Well, my Grand Gusto was all heart. All heart. He had not the greatest conformation for the sport. Thank goodness he was quite fancy in front, but he was very long. You know, he struggled to sit. His piaffe was always a little bit croup high. His pirouettes were always croup high. So he made up for it because he never, ever didn't try 1,000%. This horse is insanely talented, innately talented in his body for piaffe and for those things. He's a little more, he's confident, but he needs me too. He's confident in what we do together. So it's a different responsibility with De Niro. I feel a great responsibility to take care of him, and Sam took care of me, which is a great first horse to take to an Olympics. You know, like he just took me everywhere. If I kicked, he piaffed. Like he just was great. And Goose and I have a real partnership, I think. We go to Florida next. We have 6 CDIs. I have a 69 from Devon going in. We have to get all scores over 68 and an average over 70. So I've got a lot of work to do there, but I have 1 good score going in. And I need to get 2 in the 6 shows in Florida and then 1 in the spring, either at our home CDIs that Kara Whittam runs, or at Kentucky, or one of those.
And do you feel like Canada is in a better position than it was?
Yeah, I think I'm getting more experienced. David's getting more experienced. Ashley has all the experience in the world, but she's getting choices in her horses, so she can make choices about which one is the best at the time. You know, so I think those veterans, and then we have a lot of talent coming up. So I think it's going to be a larger pool than we think to draw from. Certainly in the next 3 years by Rio. You know, this going into WEG, we have some good green horses that might come up, and that's what Goose did for the Olympics. He came out of nowhere. So you never know what's going to come along. You know, we Brittany Fraser with All In is unbelievable. Lindsay's great. You know, Chris is great. At any given moment, they could come out on something, and we'd be blown away. So there's a lot of talent coming our way. I feel excited by it, excited, you know, and if I can keep up with them, great. And if I can't, then I'm going to fight fight Vicki Winter for the chef position or something like that, just to be part of it. No, I love Vicki Winter has been named as our chef. It's so exciting for us. She was my chef at the Pan Am Games, and it was such a wonderful experience for me, my first team. And I really am hoping to make this team to relive that a little bit. She's fantastic.